Hey there, you're looking kind of cute. Don't forget to subscribe and check out all my other socials. Enjoy. River tidied up after dinner. She hummed softly, her mind drifting to thoughts of her son, Barrett. Lately, she'd noticed subtle changes in his demeanor, a newfound hesitancy in his movements, fleeting moments of unease when their eyes met. As a mother, she couldn't help but worry. A creak from upstairs caught her attention. Barrett's bedroom door opened, followed by the soft pad of footsteps descending the stairs. River turned, a warm smile ready on her lips, but it faltered as she took in the sight before her. Barrett stood at the foot of the stairs, fidgeting with the hem of a floral dress that fell just above his knees. His feet were adorned with delicate ballet flats, and a long ash-blonde wig cascaded over his shoulders. Uncertainty clouded his eyes as he met his mother's gaze. "Mom, I can explain," he stammered, his voice barely above a whisper. River's heart swelled with love and understanding. She crossed the room in a few quick strides, enveloping her son in a tight embrace. "Oh, sweetheart," she murmured. "There's nothing to explain. I'm just glad you felt safe enough to share this with me." Barrett's body trembled as he returned the hug, years of pent-up emotions finally finding release. "You're not disappointed?" he asked, his voice muffled against her shoulder. River pulled back, cupping her child's face in her hands. "Never," she said firmly. "You're my child, and I love you unconditionally. All I want is for you to be happy and true to yourself." Relief washed over Barrett's features, and a tentative smile tugged at his lips. "There's so much I want to tell you," he said, his voice steadier now. "And I want to hear it all," River replied, leading him to the couch. "But first, why don't you go change into something more comfortable? We can talk properly then." Barrett nodded, giving his mother's hand a grateful squeeze before heading back upstairs. River settled onto the couch, her mind reeling, but her heart full of love and acceptance. When Barrett returned, he'd changed into soft pajamas, his face free of makeup. He sank onto the couch beside his mother, drawing his knees up to his chest. "How long have you known?" River asked gently. Barrett's gaze dropped to his hands. "I think I've always known, in a way. But I started exploring it more seriously about a year ago. I feel more like myself when I dress this way, more comfortable in my own skin." River nodded, encouraging him to continue. "When I'm dressed like that, I feel whole, like I'm finally expressing a part of myself that's always been there, just hidden." He paused, then added hesitantly, "I've been thinking about a name. When I'm her, Jasmine." "Jasmine," River repeated, smiling. "It's beautiful. It suits you." Barrett, no Jasmine, looked up, hope shining in her eyes. "You think so?" "I do," River affirmed. "And I want you to know that whether you're Barrett or Jasmine, you're my child, and I love you completely." But tears welled up in Jasmine's eyes. "I was so scared to tell you," she admitted. "I thought you might be ashamed or think I was a freak." River's heart clenched at the pain in her child's voice. "Never," she said fiercely. "You are perfect just as you are. And I'm so proud of you for having the courage to be true to yourself." They talked late into the night, Jasmine sharing her fears, hopes, and dreams. River listened attentively, offering support and asking questions to better understand her child's experiences. As the clock struck midnight, Jasmine yawned, the emotional toll of the evening catching up with her. River gave her another warm hug before they both retired for the night, hearts lighter and spirits buoyed by the newfound openness between them. The next few weeks were a whirlwind of activity as River and Jasmine embarked on a journey of exploration and self-discovery together. They spent hours poring over fashion magazines, discussing styles that appealed to Jasmine's sensibilities. One sunny afternoon found them in a bustling department store, arms laden with an assortment of clothing. Jasmine's eyes sparkled with excitement as she disappeared into the changing room, emerging moments later in a soft, powder blue sundress. "What do you think?" she asked, twirling to show off the flowing skirt. River beamed with pride. You look absolutely radiant, sweetheart. That color is perfect on you." They left the store with several bags of carefully chosen outfits, each one a testament to Jasmine's blossoming style. As they drove home, Jasmine couldn't stop smiling, her fingers tracing the patterns on her new clothes. "Thank you, Mom," she said softly, "for everything." River reached over to squeeze her hand. "Always, my love, always." Back at home, they set about transforming Jasmine's room to reflect her true self. They repainted the walls a soft lavender, hung gossamer curtains, and rearranged the furniture to create a cozy vanity area. As they worked, River noticed Jasmine becoming more relaxed, more confident in her movements. It was as if with each brush stroke and each newly hung picture, another layer of tension melted away. "You know," River said as they stood back to admire their handiwork, "I always wondered why you never seemed completely comfortable in your old room." "Now I understand." Jasmine nodded, her eyes roaming over the transformed space. "It's like I can finally breathe," she admitted, "like I'm not hiding anymore." That evening, as they sat on the porch swing, watching the sun dip below the horizon, River broached a subject that had been on her mind. "Jasmine, sweetheart," she began, "have you thought about how you want to approach this outside of home, with friends or at work?" Jasmine's brow furrowed. "I've been thinking about it a lot," she confessed. "Part of me wants to just be me all the time. But I'm scared. What if people don't understand? What if I lose my job?" River wrapped an arm around her shoulders. "Those are valid concerns," she said. "But remember, you don't have to figure it all out at once. We can take it one step at a time, at whatever pace feels right for you." Jasmine leaned into her mother's embrace, drawing comfort from her unwavering support. Maybe we could start small," she suggested, "like going out for coffee or something?" "That sounds perfect," River agreed. "We'll do it together." The following Saturday, they put their plan into action. Jasmine spent the morning getting ready, her hands shaking slightly as she applied her makeup. When she emerged from her room, she was a vision in a floral wrap dress and low heels, her wig styled into soft waves. "You look beautiful," River said, her eyes misting with pride. They drove to a cafe on the outskirts of town, where they were less likely to run into anyone they knew. As they walked from the car to the entrance, Jasmine's steps faltered. "I don't know if I can do this," she whispered, panic edging into her voice. River took her hand, giving it a reassuring squeeze. "You can," she said firmly, "and I'm right here with you. We can leave any time you want, okay?" Jasmine took a deep breath, straightened her shoulders, and nodded. Together, they walked into the cafe. The first few minutes were tense, with Jasmine's eyes darting nervously around the room. But as they settled into their seats and placed their orders, she began to relax. The barista had smiled warmly at them, and the other patrons were absorbed in their own conversations. As they sipped their lattes, Jasmine's smile grew more genuine. "This isn't so bad," she admitted. "You're doing wonderfully," River assured her. "I'm so proud of you." Their outing was a success, and it marked the beginning of Jasmine's gradual steps into the world as her true self. They started with short trips to the grocery store, the park, the movies. Each time, Jasmine's confidence grew. There were challenges, of course. Not everyone was as accepting as River. There were curious stares, a few unkind whispers. But for every negative encounter, there were many more positive ones. The elderly lady who complimented Jasmine's dress, the young girl who asked where she got her pretty shoes. Through it all, River remained a constant source of support and love. She helped Jasmine navigate the complex process of coming out to close friends and family members. She stood by her side during difficult conversations and celebrated every small victory. One evening, as they sat in the backyard watching fireflies dance in the gathering dusk, Jasmine turned to her mother. "Mom," she said, her voice thick with emotion, "I don't know how to thank you for everything you've done, for loving me so completely." River pulled her close, pressing a kiss to her forehead. "Oh, my darling," she murmured. "Loving you is the easiest thing in the world. I'm just grateful I get to be part of your journey." Jasmine snuggled closer, feeling safe and accepted in her mother's embrace. As the stars began to twinkle overhead, she realized that with her mother's unwavering support, she could face whatever challenges lay ahead. For the first time in her life, she felt truly, wholly herself, and it was beautiful. The weeks turned into months, and Jasmine continued to blossom under her mother's nurturing care. They developed new traditions together, like their weekly girls' night, where they would try out new makeup techniques or binge-watch their favorite shows in their coziest pajamas. River also took it upon herself to educate herself further about gender identity and expression. She joined online support groups for parents of transgender and gender non-conforming individuals, absorbing information and advice from others who had walked similar paths. One Saturday morning, as they shared breakfast on the patio, River brought up a topic she'd been considering. "Jasmine, sweetheart," she began, buttering a piece of toast. "I've been thinking, how would you feel about seeing a therapist who specializes in gender identity issues? It might be helpful to have a professional to talk to as you continue on this journey." Jasmine paused, her fork hovering over her plate. I hadn't really thought about it," she admitted. "Do you think I need one?" River reached across the table to take her hand. "It's not about needing one, honey. I think you're doing amazingly well, but a therapist could offer support and guidance that I can't. They might help you navigate some of the more complex emotions and decisions you're facing." Jasmine nodded slowly, considering the idea. "That actually sounds like it could be really helpful," she said. "Especially with, thinking about the future, whether I want to transition medically or not." "Exactly," River agreed. "And whatever you decide, I'll be right here supporting you. But I think having an impartial professional to talk to could be beneficial." They spent the next week researching therapists in their area, finally settling on Dr. Elaine Martinez, a compassionate woman with years of experience working with transgender and non-binary individuals. Jasmine's first appointment was nerve-wracking, but she emerged from Dr. Martinez's office with a sense of relief and hope. Over the following months, these sessions became a valuable part of her journey, providing her with tools to manage anxiety, build self-confidence, and navigate the complexities of living authentically. As Jasmine grew more comfortable in her identity, she began to consider the possibility of coming out at work. She'd been with the same marketing firm for 5 years and had good relationships with her colleagues, but the fear of rejection still loomed large. "What if they fire me?" she fretted one evening, pacing the living room. "What if everyone starts treating me differently?" River, who had been researching employment laws, tried to reassure her. "Legally, they can't fire you for being transgender," she explained. "And from everything you've told me about your coworkers, I think many of them will be supportive, but I understand it's scary." They worked together to develop a plan. Jasmine would start by coming out to her direct supervisor, Maria, whom she trusted. Then, depending on Maria's reaction, they would strategize the next steps. The day of the meeting arrived, and Jasmine was a bundle of nerves. She'd chosen to go to work presenting as Barrett, deciding it would be easier to have the conversation first before making any visible changes. River drove her to work, giving her a long, tight hug before she got out of the car. "Remember," she said, "you are strong, you are brave, and you are loved. No matter what happens today, I'm here for you." Jasmine nodded, drawing strength from her mother's words. She took a deep breath and walked into the office building. The hours crawled by as Jasmine waited for her scheduled meeting with Maria. When the time finally came, she felt like her heart might beat out of her chest. Maria welcomed her into her office with a warm smile. "Barrett, what did you want to discuss?" Jasmine's hands trembled as she sat down. "Maria," she began, her voice barely above a whisper, "there's something important I need to tell you. Something about myself that I've recently come to understand and accept." Maria leaned forward, her expression open and concerned. "You can tell me anything, Barrett. What's going on?" Taking a deep breath, Jasmine launched into the speech she'd rehearsed countless times with her mother. She explained about her gender identity, her chosen name, and her desire to begin presenting as female at work. As she spoke, She watched Maria's face carefully, bracing herself for disgust or anger. Instead, she saw surprise melt into understanding and then into compassion. When Jasmine finished speaking, Maria came around the desk and enveloped her in a hug. "Thank you for trusting me with this, Jasmine," she said warmly. "I want you to know that you have my full support. We'll do whatever we need to do to ensure you feel comfortable and respected at work." Tears of relief spilled down Jasmine's cheeks as she returned the hug. "Thank you," she whispered. "Thank you so much." Over the next hour, they discussed practical matters: how to inform the rest of the staff, updating email signatures and nameplates, and ensuring access to appropriate restroom facilities. Maria promised to speak with HR to make sure all necessary accommodations were made. When Jasmine left the office that evening, she felt as if a huge weight had been lifted from her shoulders. She called her mother from the parking lot, her voice trembling with joy as she recounted the meeting. "Oh, sweetheart, I'm so happy for you," River said, her own voice thick with emotion. "This calls for a celebration. How about I pick up your favorite takeout on my way home?" That night, as they shared a meal of fragrant curry and naan bread, Jasmine couldn't stop smiling. "I can't believe how well it went," she said between bites. "I was so scared, but Maria was amazing." River reached across the table to squeeze her hand. "You were so brave, Jasmine. I'm incredibly proud of you." The following weeks brought more changes as Jasmine began presenting as herself at work. There were a few awkward moments and slip-ups with pronouns, but overall her colleagues were supportive and understanding. One particularly touching moment came when her team surprised her with a small welcome party, complete with a cake decorated with "Congratulations, Jasmine" in swirling frosting. As she looked around at the smiling faces of her coworkers, Jasmine felt a sense of belonging she'd never experienced before. As spring turned to summer, Jasmine's confidence continued to grow. She and River took a weekend trip to the beach, where Jasmine wore a swimsuit in public for the first time. Though initially nervous, she soon found herself laughing and splashing in the waves, reveling in the freedom of being herself. One balmy evening, as they sat on their porch swing watching the sunset, Jasmine turned to her mother. "Mom," she said softly, "I've been thinking a lot lately about how far I've come. And I realize that so much of it is because of you. Your love and support, it's meant everything to me." River's eyes misted with tears as she pulled her daughter close. "Oh, my darling," she murmured, "loving you is the easiest, most natural thing in the world. I'm just so grateful I get to be part of your journey." Jasmine snuggled into her mother's embrace, feeling a profound sense of peace. She knew there would be more challenges ahead, there always were in life, but with her mother's unwavering support and her own growing strength, she felt ready to face whatever came her way. As the first stars began to twinkle in the darkening sky, Jasmine made a silent promise to herself. She would live her life authentically, bravely, and with love. And she would always remember the incredible power of acceptance and support, a lesson her mother had taught her so beautifully. The gentle creaking of the porch swing lulled them into a comfortable silence, the warm summer air wrapping around them like a soft blanket. In that moment, both River and Jasmine felt an overwhelming sense of gratitude for the bond they shared, a love that transcended societal expectations and embraced the beautiful complexity of human identity. As the weeks passed, Jasmine found herself taking on new challenges with growing confidence. She joined a local support group for transgender individuals, where she formed friendships with others who understood her experiences firsthand. These connections provided her with a sense of community and belonging that complemented the unwavering support she received from her mother. One sunny Saturday, Jasmine decided it was time to refresh her wardrobe for the changing seasons. "Mom, she called out, poking her head into the kitchen where River was preparing lunch. "Want to go shopping with me? I could use some new fall outfits." River's face lit up. "I'd love to, sweetheart. Let me just finish up here and we can head out." They spent the afternoon at the mall, arms laden with bags as they moved from store to store. In one boutique, Jasmine emerged from the dressing room wearing a burgundy sweater dress that hugged her curves perfectly. "Oh, Jasmine," River breathed, her eyes shining with pride. "You look absolutely stunning." A small smile played on Jasmine's lips as she twirled in front of the mirror. "I feel stunning," she admitted. "It's amazing how much more comfortable I feel in my own skin now." As they made their way through the mall, Jasmine noticed a group of teenagers staring and whispering. For a moment, her old insecurities threatened to resurface, but she squared her shoulders and kept walking, her head held high. River, noticing the exchange, squeezed her daughter's hand. "You okay?" she asked softly. Jasmine nodded, a determined glint in her eye. "You know what? I am. Their opinions don't define me. I know who I am, and that's what matters." River beamed with pride at her daughter's strength and self-assurance. "That's my girl," she said, giving Jasmine's hand another squeeze. As autumn settled in, bringing with it a palette of warm colors and crisp air, Jasmine found herself reflecting on her journey. She decided to start a journal, documenting her thoughts, fears, and triumphs. One evening, as she sat curled up in the window seat of her bedroom, pen poised over paper, she began to write. "Dear future me, I hope when you read this, you'll look back and be proud of how far we've come. Today marks 1 year since I first told Mom about my true self. 1 year since I stopped hiding and started living. It hasn't always been easy. There have been tears, doubts, and moments of fear, but there has also been so much joy, so much love, and so much growth. Mom has been my rock through it all. Her unconditional love and support have given me the strength to face each day, to stand tall in the face of adversity, and to embrace who I truly am. I hope you remember the day we went to the beach for the first time as Jasmine. How terrifying it felt to be so exposed, yet how liberating it was to feel the sun on our skin and the sand between our toes. I hope you remember the kindness of the elderly couple who complimented our sundress and how their simple act of acceptance brought tears to our eyes. I hope you remember the first day at work as Jasmine. The nervous energy, the trembling hands, but also the overwhelming support from our colleagues. Maria's hug, the welcome cake, the genuine smiles. These are moments to cherish. Most of all, I hope you remember Mom's unwavering presence through it all. Her patience as she helped us learn to apply makeup, her fierce protection when we faced unkind comments, her gentle encouragement when we felt like giving up. Future me, I hope you're happy. I hope you're living authentically and unapologetically. I hope you've continued to grow, to love, and to spread kindness, and I hope you never forget how far we've come and the incredible people who've helped us along the way. With love and hope, Jasmine. As she finished writing, Jasmine felt a sense of peace wash over her. She closed the journal, hugging it to her chest for a moment before placing it on her nightstand. She made her way downstairs, finding River in the living room, engrossed in a book. Without a word, Jasmine curled up next to her mother on the couch, resting her head on River's shoulder. River set her book aside, wrapping an arm around her daughter. "Everything okay, sweetheart?" Jasmine nodded, a contented smile on her face. "Everything's perfect, Mom. I was just thinking about how lucky I am to have you and how grateful I am for everything we've been through together." River pressed a kiss to the top of Jasmine's head. "I'm the lucky one, my love. Watching you grow into the beautiful, strong woman you are has been the greatest joy of my life." Thanks for watching. Don't forget to check out my other socials if you want more content, early access, behind the scenes, and more. All links down below.